Why businesses need a mobile website. I want you to understand that more and more people are using their phones to find things each and every day. This is an article that I found that was written back in April 2009, quite a bit ago, but it's very relevant because the U.S. These people here predict an increase from advertising revenues, meaning people that advertise on mobile search, to increase from 39 million in 2008 to 2.3 billion in 2013, a compound annual growth rate of 125.6%. That is incredible. Here we can see, anticipate a tenfold increase in the number of mobile internet search users during the forecast period. That is amazing, isn't it? So the point is, a lot of people are doing these searches online to find websites. Let me show you two scenarios. Let's say that you live in Chicago and you're looking for a restaurant. So you type in Chicago Italian restaurant. And of course, here all the results pop up, and you can click on each place to find more about, of course, the website. Let's take a look at this top one here, Italian Village Chicago. Okay, so obviously this is a very nice looking website. It will convey multiple things to me in my internet browser. Now let's say that I am doing the same search using my phone. This is a site that I actually share with you later. It's called iPhoneTester.com. It's very helpful because it allows us to look at websites as you would through a phone. The most popular of phones right now being the iPhone. Other phones such as the Google Droid, the Google operating system for phones, it's going to look pretty similar, just this type of look. So let's go ahead and go to that address being Italian Village Chicago, and I want to show you what the website looks like in this phone. Look at that. So let's say, for example, I'm in downtown Chicago. I'm trying to find an Italian restaurant, and I type this into my phone. This is not going to help me. Let's say that I pulled off the side of the road in my car, which hopefully people aren't doing this while they're driving. And this is very frustrating because now, in order to see more about the website, I got to scroll this way, and look, there's no address. Let's say, for example, that I was going to visit this restaurant, and I have to scroll down here. Okay, there's the phone, but still, it wasn't easy to find. It's just it's annoying. There's when you look at the website here, these people that designed the site, they said, okay, we want to convey multiple things when people come to the site. We want to show them, hey, we have gift certificates, we have a newsletter, you can subscribe to the newsletter, all these cool things. We have these nice rotating pictures. It really does look like a pretty amazing restaurant, doesn't it? And no, I don't live in Chicago. I've never been to this place. But when we look on the phone, all this gets lost. So what we want to do is we want to build a site specifically for the mobile phone. We want to back it off a bit, not have so many images in it. We want to really emphasize the location and the phone number and the advantages of the restaurant right in, very simple graphics, not something complicated and crazy like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore to local businesses and offer them the opportunity to have a separate mobile site, which is what a lot of people are doing now, a lot of the bigger businesses. So let's go ahead. I want to show you an example of a mobile-ready site. Okay, so here we are. I went to a mobile site for a Mexican restaurant in Denver, Colorado. Switching gears here a bit. But you can see here that when we go to the restaurant, there's a nice picture there of some tasty food, and then it's immediately followed by information that's all easy to read. And you can see here we can contact them, we can learn more about them, we can even access the menu. When I go to click on the menu, it is all very easy to read in my phone. You can see it's quite different than what we were looking at before. And there's the information, the address, the phone, and also the email, right all there, easy to access. So what we're going to show you is, of course, is how to be doing this. So now that you have a better understanding of what a mobile website is and how it works, let's go back to what we initially started talking about, and that is the advantages of why businesses need a mobile website. Many people are accessing websites via their phones every day. It is especially valuable in tourist areas or when targeting travelers. So again, just keep in mind, let's say for example someone is driving down, Main Street at Chicago and they're looking for an Italian restaurant. They're going to go ahead and type in, Italian restaurant Chicago or whatever they're going to type in. And if they go to websites that are big and hard to navigate, it's going to be more difficult and challenging. One of the things was I work with some local businesses in my area, and I took a look, and just to give you an example, one of the restaurants that I work with, he's getting mobile visitors is about 5% of his traffic. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, and it isn't, but it's going to increase, over time. And I can tell you, those 5% of the people that are checking his restaurant out, you have to keep in mind those are probably, at least in some cases, people that are already near his restaurant and looking for a place to eat. And when they're coming to his site, they're staying on average of about 1 second. That is pretty bad news for him, because that means that people are going to his site, then they're leaving because they don't like what they see. So that was a red flag to me, that I needed to take things and create a separate mobile site for him to be able to take the most advantage of the traffic that he's getting through their phones. So just keep that in mind. We want to make things as simple as possible. And we do our thing where we optimize a website for people, but if you're not doing a separate one for the phone, you're really missing out on really targeted traffic that might literally be just down the street looking for, your local business. Having a mobile website, of course, allows you to offer two separate ways to show information catering to each. Of course, one thing you could do is you could go back and redesign your site and make it more mobile friendly. That the problem is they're going to conflict. You don't want your main big website to be super simple and have smaller images and all that kind of stuff, because then you're not going to be taking advantage of browser-based traffic, which is going to be most of what people come to. The best solution is to have two separate websites, and we're going to talk about how when people come to your domain, you're going to be able to separate them, and then you'll send people that are coming to your site from a computer, you send them to one site, and then people that are coming to look at from a phone, you send them to the mobile site. It's not that hard to do. Having a mobile website also opens up some unique mobile opportunities, meaning that when you have a mobile website, you can go ahead and then submit that mobile website to directories, and when people do certain searches, if they're using a mobile search engine, it's going to make your website come up ideally higher in the rankings. So take for example, if you were working for a restaurant in an area where there are 15 other competitors, and you're the only one with a mobile website, it's going to give your client a humongous advantage, especially you say 5 years from now, so let's say they all have mobile websites. Well, you know what? Your client was the first, so that's really good, and it's certainly going to help. Another advantage of having an optimized mobile website is that it will load much faster. If you stop and think about how sites are being designed these days, of course, back in the old days, sites were simple, and now sites are very elaborate, and they have lots of pictures and even video and whatnot. And when someone tries to access them from a mobile phone, oftentimes it is much more like someone accessing a site through dial-up, which means you're going to have to wait a while for the site to load. However, if you have a mobile website, it's going to be scaled back and more simple, which means that your site will load faster. And those of you experienced in this industry know that having a fast loading site is really important. That's even more important when someone's searching by their phone, because you're going to find that the attention span and the time that they're going to be looking at the site is going to be significantly smaller. Having a mobile website allows you to focus on the most important issues for mobile users, meaning things like if someone is looking at your site from a regular computer, there's different things that you want to explain about your restaurant. But when someone's using their phone, then it becomes more important to really, right away have, your phone number and location, and also spell out the benefits of your business to that person. Say for example, someone's looking for the restaurant. You want to give the opportunity for someone to just push a button and then be able to get directions to the restaurant, is one thing that I think is really important for a site to have. So, it allows you to really break out and say to yourself, if I have someone checking out my website from their phone, what do I really need to emphasize, especially given that I only have a small amount of space to do so, and that, allows you to accomplish specifically that. So there you go. There's a lot of reasons why a business needs a mobile website.